इसकी जूमिंग बड़ी इसकी इनके ऊपर ना इन्हीं पे हुआ जाएगा तो स्पूट लाइक वाला ये वाला कैमरा
सर इधर नहीं आ रहा आपको ऑडिटर
क्लास में बच्चे नहीं सर वहाँ पे खड़े थे ना वो सब बाहर ही
हेलो हेलो
सुनो स्पॉटलाइट ऊपर वाली वीडियो उसका राइट क्लिक करके स्पॉटलाइट ऊपर इधर इधर बड़े बड़े ना नाम लगा इधर आ जाओ थोड़ा सा इस पे जाकर राइट क्लिक करो स्पॉटलाइट कर दो हाँ Respected Dean Sir, Respected Dr. Dalbisi, Dr. Polisar, Professor, and my dear students. Good morning to all of you. I welcome you to the today's webinar. The Department of Forensic Science, University School of Allied Health Sciences, in collaboration with the Forensic Educator Institute, Chandigarh, is organizing a national webinar on challenges in forensic medicine, decisions in investigation of heinous crimes, and the way forward. By no other than a famous unknown personality in forensic science, Dr. Anil Agarwal. The webinar aim to address the spectrum of challenges faced by forensic investigators while investigating heinous crimes and the potential solutions and remedies for moving forward. The topic is relevant for young aspiring forensic students and general public as heinous crimes are making headlines every other day in our country. So without a further ado, I request Dr. Pramod Singh, a Research Associate Department of Anatomy, PGI Chandigarh, to please formally introduce our speaker, Dr. Anil Agarwal.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity. First of all, it's a great privilege to introduce a speaker like Dr. Anil Agarwal. Before going on to his achievements or his contribution to forensic science, I have just one thing to add. Sir, I'm currently research associate at PGI Chandigarh, Anil sir. And basically, I owe this journey in forensics to you. I have done my PhD from PGI. Actually, this is just a small incident before introducing our today's speaker, like how humble he is and how he appreciates giving knowledge to the coming generation. So before getting into forensics, I was little confused, and somehow I got email ID of Anil sir from internet. I emailed him, and he directly gave me his number, and he said, "Okay, let's talk, discuss it on the phone call." So he basically guided me to get into the field of forensics, and at later stages as well, during my dissertation also, I approached him, and he happily and wholeheartedly helped me. So a big thank you for that. A personal thank you. I take this moment to thank Dr. Anil Agarwal. And adding to his professional achievements, he completed his MBBS from the University of Delhi, and he is a gold medalist from there. After that, he completed his MD in forensic medicine from AIMS, New Delhi. And since then, he has been rendering his services in the field of forensic medicine and forensic medicine and toxicology in different roles, starting from junior resident to senior resident, then assistant professor. And he retired as the director and professor of forensic medicine and toxicology from Maulana Azad Medical College, New Delhi. Other than all these professional achievements, he has immensely contributed in the field of forensic medicine and toxicology. He runs an internet journal, which is about to complete 24 years. That's a big achievement. A journal dedicated to the field of forensic medicine and toxicology that has been read throughout the world, and we regularly refer it for our research work as well. Also, he has immensely contributed to enhance of knowledge in the field of forensic medicine and toxicology.
हाँ क्या बोल
His number of books.
गुड मॉर्निंग
Hello. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
हाँ
Sir.
पूछ
Is it audible to you, sir?
हेलो जस्ट 1 मिनट हाँ हेलो
Yes.
हेलो प्रमोद
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
actually I am facing some problem. I am sharing the actually I am new to all these things, so
Okay.
I was
No worries,
phoning Vikas Bhargav, but he is not picking up the phone. Now how do we share the screen, because I have can you see my screen? I cannot, I mean, on can you see my screen, because I have to present
Yes, sir.
some what are you seeing on the screen, because I have two
Sir, we
screens.
cannot see your screen yet.
So I will press the
Okay.
new share,
Sir,
and I know I have screen 2. I have two screens. So screen 2, I am pressing share.
yes, sir.
So you must be seeing my screen too. You are not able to see that.
Not yet, sir.
So screen. So somebody is saying so screen. Somebody allow this person to speak. Somebody so screen. Somebody is saying, oh, this is my own thing. So how do I share the screen? I'm not able to. I mean, I just don't know how to do it. That's my problem. I've never taken these kinds of lectures, you know.
So good morning, sir.
No.
Sir,
Good morning.
respective folder, just open it, sir.
No,
I am
no,
Dr. Selvam from Vinaya Mission
Dr. Silva, just let me run a WhatsApp call to you, a video call. I'll show you on my screen. I can see everything.
Just
So
just open that respective folder, sir.
Yeah, my
Sir,
My-
sir, we
my-
can
my-
see your screen, sir. You can just, sir, we can see your screen. You can just start with the presentation once we are done with the introduction.
yeah, I just don't know. Can you see now? Because I have two screens. Yeah, please understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Just
sir. We
open it, sir.
understand,
Just
sir.
open it.
Sir,
Can
you just need to open the PPT presentation and
Where-
start. with the introduction slide.
as soon as I open it, it automatically goes to the screen too. That is my problem. I just don't know how to. I mean, it automatically goes to screen
Sir?
too. Yes.
Sir, when you will be
Before
presenting,
sir, before share the folder file,
Huh.
just is open that PowerPoint presentation. Don't share it. In
Okay.
the
So
desktop,
first
just
of all,
open that
okay. So
PowerPoint
first of
presentation.
okay.
Minimize the thing.
Just 1 minute, beta. Please slowly. I'm an old man. This technology is new to me. Actually, तो मैं विकास के कहने पे
Fine,
करता
fine,
था.
it's
I
okay,
never
sir.
take. एक मेरी बात सुन लो बेटा, please. Please मेरी एक बात सुन लो. मैं तुम्हारी तरह smart नहीं हूँ. I'm not a smart boy or a smart man. This is my first time I'm taking an online lecture. Okay. I always take face to face.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ विकास, मुझे को समझने दो, चीज को समझने दो बेटे, इतनी जल्दी नहीं समझ में. इट्स अ न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर मी. When I am 67 now, when I was 65, then this technology came, you know. So let me understand it. Please allow me some time to understand this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ, इतना तो मुझे आप देंगे ना बेटे. मतलब मुझे आदत नहीं है. मैं तो मना कर रहा था इसको. इसने कहा नहीं लेना है. मैंने कहा ठीक है यार, कोशिश करते हैं. करना तो इसको ये चाहिए था कि कल एक रिहर्सल टाइप करता, लेकिन चलो जो हो गया सो हो गया. अब आप ये बताइए कि न्यू शेयर मैं, हाउ डू आई स्टॉप शेयरिंग इट? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई हैव टू स्टॉप शेयरिंग, राइट? बट हाउ डू आई स्टॉप शेयरिंग इट?
Sir, in the,
एक सेकंड, आई एम लीविंग द, let me first leave. No, I have to swap. Display settings. Swap presentation. हाँ, अब देखो आ रही है क्या ये स्क्रीन? कुछ स्वैप करना था. Can you see my slide now? Let me go to a, yes. Can you see this boy who is lying on this thing? Hello.
Sir, did you minimize the PowerPoint presentation, sir?
बेटे मेरे पास ना दो स्क्रीन हैं. देखो मैं तुम्हें दिखाता हूँ. मेरी एक बात सुनो आप. शेयर मैंने कहा कि क्या शेयर करना है बेटे? मुझे बताओ तो सही, क्या शेयर करना है? मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कुछ. पहले भी मैंने बेटे एक बारी कोशिश किया था, नहीं हो पाया था मुझसे. मैं तुम्हें बता रहा हूँ मुझसे नहीं हो पाता है. तो मुझे मेरा सारा तो मूड यहीं पे खराब हो गया है. मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा ना बेटे. अरे विकास यार, उस पे कर पहले, उस पे कर, वीडियो पे शेयर कर, वीडियो पे. ये देख, ये मेरे पास दो स्क्रीनें हैं. ये मेरे सामने है जिसमें ये लगा हुआ है. एक ये स्क्रीन है, एक ये स्क्रीन है. अब मेरे को कौन सी स्क्रीन शेयर करनी है और कैसे करनी है? समझाएगा या नहीं समझाएगा? कौन बेटे? एक्चुअली तो तुम्हें करना ये चाहिए था कि कल पूरी की पूरी ना एक वो करना चाहिए था कि भाई सारा का सारा मेरे को समझ में आ जाता. हाँ, अब बताइए. क्या क्या कह रहे हैं बेटा आप?
सर एस्केप का बटन होगा.
हाँ, एस्केप कर लिया मैंने. हाँ, एस्केप हो गया. आप बताइए.
यहाँ पे शेयर का दिख रहा है ना आपको?
ये शेयर कहाँ है? दिखाइए. ये है, एक पार्टिसिपेंट्स है, एक ये शेयर स्क्रीन है. ये शेयर स्क्रीन किया मैंने. अब इधर आ रहा है स्क्रीन 1 शेयर करनी है कि स्क्रीन 2 शेयर करनी है. ये देखो ये आ रहा है. बेटा स्क्रीन 1 मैंने चलो शेयर करी. ये देखो मैंने स्क्रीन 1 शेयर करी. अब कहाँ दबाऊं उसको? वो तो ओपन ही थी यार अभी. एक मिनट. देखो ये ओपन यहाँ पे आ जाती है. फिर जब यहाँ पर डिस्प्ले सेटिंग्स है ना बेटा, देखो डिस्प्ले सेटिंग्स में आता है स्वैप प्रेजेंटेशन व्यू. अब तुम्हें कौन सी स्लाइड दिखाई दे रही है? देखो मेरे पास एक स्क्रीन ये है, एक स्क्रीन ये है. मेन ये है, मेन सेकंड है, मेन 2 है. यहाँ पर तो वैसे ही आ रहा है.
कोई बात नहीं सर, आप ना शेयर स्क्रीन करके स्लाइड शो कर दो. हाइट दबा के रखो, टैब दबाना सर एक बार.
क्या चीज?
Alt प्रेस करके टैब प्रेस करना।
आल्ट के बाद टैब प्रेस किया, अब क्या हो गया?
दोनों फोन एक साथ पैरेलल प्रेस करो, वहां पे जूम आपको दिख रहा होगा।
जूम, ये देख, ये दिख रहा है सामने।
जूम वाले पे जाओ, जूम वाले पे।
क्या चीज?
हाँ, जूम वाले पे क्लिक करो, जूम मीटिंग पे।
यार
Sir,
ये ना,
organize-
मैं देयर इज नो फन इन दिस काइंड्स ऑफ क्लासेस, यू नो। कोई ना तो आदमी अपने ऑडियंस को देख सकता है, ना उनके साथ
Excuse me, sir.
फिजिकली इंटरेक्ट कर सकता है। आई
Excuse me,
एक्चुअली
sir.
डोंट लाइक ऑल दिस, आई एम टेलिंग यू, आई एम वेरी ऑनेस्ट विद यू।
Sir, you send it to this organizer. That slide will be, sir, they will share
अरे
it, sir. You
क्या
send it to
करना है
them.
यार, कैसे करना है, समझाओ तो सही यार।
You send your PowerPoint presentation to that organizer, sir. They will share it.
अरे यार, ये कल बात करनी थी ना, अब इतनी भारी स्लाइड में कैसे भेजूं? और उसके बाद वीडियोस दिखाने हैं मुझे, वीडियोस तो सारे मेरे पास पड़े हैं, 10-10 जीबी के वीडियोस हैं, कैसे दिखाऊंगा तुम्हें? भेजूंगा कैसे? क्या प्रेस करना है बेटा? ये देख, ये आ गया, अब क्या करूं?
जूम मीटिंग वाला ना, स्लाइड शो
ये वाला,
हाँ, इस पे क्लिक करो।
ये तो अपने आप ही क्लिक हो गया। हाँ, अब क्या करना है?
ये शेयर पे दोबारा क्लिक करना।
अब ये स्क्रीन 1 शेयर करूं या स्क्रीन 2 शेयर करूं?
स्लाइड शो, जहाँ पे स्लाइड शो,
स्लाइड शो कहाँ लिखा है?
ये सब जहाँ पे इन्वेस्टिगेशन वाली आपकी फोटो दिख रही है ना, लड़की पड़ी हुई है, ये वाला।
ये वाला नीचे वाली, ये
वाला, हाँ जी,
इसको शेयर करना है।
हाँ जी।
सेशंस इन, अच्छा, ये शेयर करना है। ओके, अब क्या आ रहा है? अच्छा,
ये आ गया सर।
अच्छा, अब शेयर हो गया क्या?
हाँ जी, माइक पे लगा दो।
अब तुम्हें मेरी कौन सी स्लाइड दिख रही है? कौन सी स्क्रीन दिख रही है? मेरे पास एक स्क्रीन ये है और एक स्क्रीन ये है।
हाँ, ये वाली दिख रही है।
तुम्हें ये वाली दिख रही है या ये वाली दिख रही है? ये देखो, ये मेन
Go to
स्क्रीन ये है
slide show.
बेटे।
Slide show. The bottom of the cup. Slide show.
कब कौन सा है यार? यार ये ना, मैं आपसे लूंगा ही नहीं स्टार्ट की क्लास है। आई कांट टेक दिस क्लासेस, यू नो। ये कब, तो ये वाली कब की बात कर रहे हैं आप?
हाँ जी,
ये कब क्या है? हाँ, ये हो गया। अच्छा, कब हो गया? अब क्या दिखाई दे रहा है आपको?
हाँ जी, आपको एक चैलेंजेस एंड पॉलिसी।
अरे यार, ये तो स्क्रीन 2 है, कोई बात नहीं, मेरा टेढ़ा मुंह आ जाता है, लेकिन कोई बात नहीं, मैं इसको स्क्रीन 1 करने को, चलो ठीक है। इसको यार अब आज ना इतना, मतलब आई एम जस्ट, यार आई वाज इन सच ए गुड मूड ना, नाउ हाउ कैन आई टेक एनीथिंग नाउ? मतलब इट्स सच ए, एक तो बेटे सुबह ना 7 बजे 8 बजे या कल सुबह तुम्हें करनी चाहिए थी चीज ये। ये मुझे इस तरह से आदत नहीं है बिल्कुल भी, मैं आई जस्ट कांट टेक लेक्चर्स लाइक दिस। बेटा इस तरह के ना, होता क्या है ना, तो हम पर्सनली इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हैं किसी बच्चे के साथ, और ये तो कोई मजा नहीं है जो फिजिक।
Yes, madam.
सर एक्चुअली हमें स्टार्ट की आपके स्लाइड्स।
நான் நேத்து அப்படி இது 4:30 ஆயிடுச்சு பண்ணி ஆயிடுச்சு. ஏன்னா அந்த URL லிங்க் கேட்டதுனால நேத்து மார்னிங் என்ன நடந்துச்சுன்னா எல்லாம் இதெல்லாம் உள்ள போடணுமோ அந்த கிளாஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அப்புறம் அவங்க மறுபடியும் மெயில் பண்ணி முருகனுக்கு சூராமா மேடம் தான் மெயில் பண்ணிட்டு மேடம் கால் பண்ணி சொல்லுங்க அர்ஜென்ட் இன்னைக்கு அந்த லிங்க் கிரியேட் பண்றதுக்கு அதுக்கு எனக்கு 3 நாள்
In content to put
Participants, please switch off your mics.
பட் ப்ராப்பரா அப்படி வந்ததுனால சப்போர்ட் டிபேட் அதான்
இவங்ககிட்ட கூட்டு வந்து டக்குனு பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. I mean, அது 1 week அது வந்து முடிஞ்சிச்சு, அது பத்தி
பண்ணியாச்சு.
हाँ जी, आप लेक्चर शुरू करिए सर, एक्शन एंटर करो। अब आप लेक्चर शुरू कर सकते हैं।
चलो ये अनम्यूट हो गया। अब दिखाई दे रहा है तुमको सबको? हेलो?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
अच्छा एक सेकंड, अब तुम्हें मेरा कौन सा स्क्रीन द्वारा मेन, एक सेकंड, ये 1 मिनट. Now, yes, are you seeing this boy who was lying in a? I just don't know what you are seeing, but anyway, I'll do it now. Whatever.
Yes, sir. This is the same screen. We can start with the lecture.
Acha, chaliye. Good morning, all. I'm sorry for this trouble because this is not my style of taking lectures. But anyway, since you have forced me to do this, I'll do whatever I can. Anyway, so today we are going to take up this this talk. Challenges in forensic medicine, the sessions in investigation of heinous crimes and the way forward. Can you all listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can all listen to me. All right. So now, what I could understand from this topic was that this investigation of heinous crimes I mean, what I could understand is that the kind of investigations that we do in India, that's mainly by police. And Scissions, they told me it means separation. I mean, what part of the investigation is to be done by police and what part is to be done by the doctor. Now, if you can you see this slide where this police doctor? I mean, there are several investigations systems around the world. There's about 6 or 7, but I just selected 3. So, let me tell you about only just first 2. That's police and doctor. Now, police system is prevalent in our country. That means, please understand, in all systems, the investigation is shared by both police as well as by doctor. But the part that police plays and the part that doctor plays is different. In India, for instance, I would say the major part, almost 70 to 80% of the part is played by the police. The police is because even in heinous, that he has put the subject as heinous crimes. So most heinous is murder, for example. So even the murder, if you understand, if you read the law, this section 174 of Criminal Procedure Code, this law actually allows, not allows, rather directs only the police to go to the scene of crime. There's no name of doctor there. So our investigation system basically revolves around section 174 and section 176 of CRPC. CRPC is Criminal Procedure Code. Criminal Procedure Code, as you must be knowing, that it's a code, it's a law which directs or which tells how a criminal investigation will be done. What are the procedures that you will take during a criminal investigation. That's why it's called a criminal procedure code. Means what are the procedures? What are the procedures that have to be done in a criminal case? Now this has got about 434 sections, if I remember correct. Out of which a few are, necessary for us. The most important, I would say, are 174 and 176. I hope you understand what the sections are. The sections are nothing but they are numbering of the paragraphs. This has got, or you can understand it another way. This criminal procedure code is a book actually, which is a law book, which you can actually purchase from the market for about 100, 200 odd rupees, or it's also available in a PDF form on internet. If you write criminal procedure code PDF, it will give you the PDF. Now, if you read this PDF, you'll find that there are 434 paragraphs in this, and each paragraph will tell you something about the procedure. For instance, I'll tell you something which is not very important for us, but it is important for the police, that police cannot enter the house of a woman after sunset. And that's because if this code was not there, then police would do whatever. Police cannot torture people, or police cannot do this, police cannot do this. So both things are there. What police can do, what police cannot do. There are some instructions for doctor also. For instance, in section 53A, in section 53 and 53A. Now, whenever I say sections, if you don't have a good understanding of sections, you can understand it in this way, that it is the 53rd paragraph in that book, which tells you all the procedures. It's telling you 434 procedures basically. That's why so each paragraph they have numbered, so that I can easily refer that paragraph to you. Otherwise, it will be very difficult which paragraph I'm talking about. So, and when you see something like A, 53A or 53B or something like this, when you see this, mostly it means that I mean, in 99% of the cases, that it was not there when the criminal procedure code was made. Criminal procedure code was made in 1971. And when this 73 or 71, I mean, I think either of the 2 years. Now, at that time, you have a certain understanding of the law, that these laws are made by the legislature, by the parliament. So at that time, they have a certain understanding of the parliament, that parliament, these things will work like this or that. But later on, they acquire knowledge. For instance, you catch a criminal and you want to bring him to the doctor so that he can examine. Let us say the case is of a rape accused. Now, in most rape accused cases, most cases that I have been doing, forensics from 79 onwards, 1979, when I joined AIMS, and I superannuated in 2021. So a journey of about 40 years, 42 years. Now, most of the times I saw that in rape cases, because now, now there is DNA profiling. When I joined, there was no DNA profiling. At that time, rapists used to take some other plea that we have not done it. Because even if you take a vaginal swab and even if you recover semen, in case of married women, it was virtually impossible to say that rape has occurred, because she's married, and I mean, it's expected that she will have these kinds of unions. So it was virtually impossible at that time. In unmarried cases also, he can say that this is not my, because of some other person. But when DNA profiling came, then the problem became more difficult for rapist accused, because I have seen the evolution of these people. Now they started saying, because now you can take a vaginal swab and you can make a profile, and once the DNA profile is matching with the accused, he cannot get away by saying that this is not my semen or this is somebody else's or her own husband's or whatever. He cannot say that. So now, two most common excuses, what these rapists or murderers or whatever they do. Whenever they commit a crime, they will contact a lawyer. And lawyers are smart people. They will tell you, you say this, you do this. So standard two things they are saying. First, we are important. Now I used to think that important is almost like a gali in our country, So when somebody says you are important, he will probably strangle you. But here he is himself saying, because it is protecting him. And still bigger thing was that it was a consensual, union. Consensual union means that the woman had given consent, but now she's asking for money, and since I'm not giving money, she's making this blame. So there is no doubt I have done it, because he can't refuse it, his DNA is there. So these two are the standard things. And let me tell you, out of every 10 cases, 2 or 3 are actually like this, that the woman had given her consent for this kind of a union, and then later on something happened, maybe there was a promise of marriage or something. I mean, there can be 1,000 reasons for that, where she said, no, I'm not comfortable and I will go to the police, and she will go to the police and she will say that I've been raped. Now, the most important difference is I'm telling you from my own point of view, from doctor's point of view. And please also understand, even a murder can happen in open market, but rape cannot happen in open market. Rape is essentially a private crime. So even in murder, you can have witnesses, but in rape, you are not going to have any witness, because it's a private crime. By its very nature, it's private crime. Now, what has happened in private? How do you know? The only one is the vaginal swab. You can make a profile of semen, but there is no problem. He's saying, I have done it, but I have done it with consent. So how do you prove? By examination of the people. That is, you are only 2 persons with you whom you can examine: rape accused and rape victim, or survivor, as we call now. Now they don't use the words victim. This is very important for you, because they say that the moment you say victim, you are actually victimizing her again. So they use the word survivor. So I'll try to use the word survivor, although I still admit that this has not gone into my DNA, because for the most of my life I have used the word victim. But anyway, survivor is the correct word. So you can only examine the survivor, or you can only examine the accused. So how do you say that the consent was not there? The biggest medical evidence, in case the consent was not there, is sign of struggle. Because struggle, will not happen between husband and wife. Struggle will not happen even among two lovers who are not married. But struggle will occur in, these kinds of unions where the consent was not there. I'll tell you, there are some exceptions to this also. Probably you are thinking that, well, but I'll tell you, let me not confuse you further, but you'll have to go with this, that struggle will occur in something which is not consented. And I'm already giving you a caveat that it is possible that struggle will not occur even in non-consensual. But let us go with the classical case. The classical case is the struggle will occur. Now, if the struggle will occur, what will happen? Probably the woman has beaten him somewhere. Probably the woman has torn his clothes. Probably the woman has scratched him. Probably the woman has kicked him, punched him. So immediate examination of accused in many cases will tell you that the signs of struggle were there. For instance, you can easily see bite marks, punch marks, abrasions, contusions. Lacerations are rare, but she might have even beaten with some rod or something. And she herself will show on her body these kinds of marks. Now, if the police brings both these people to a doctor, a classical principle in medicine, which probably you know, I don't know, I'm not sure about it, but let me tell you. A classical principle in medicine is that before you examine any patient, you have to specifically take his consent. Consent means whether you are ready to submit yourself for examination or not. It very much happens that, suppose a woman is having, let us say, some lump in the breast, for example. And the woman comes to a male doctor, and she probably has in her mind that he will just listen to me and he will give me something, some tablet or something, and then I'll be fine. But the doctor needs to examine her. So it's not that he starts undressing her. That's if anybody does it, 100% I can tell you he will go to jail. 100%. And these cases do come to me. So the doctor has to clearly tell her that, look here, madam, I have to examine your breast, and for this you'll have to undress. And are you comfortable with this? If you're not comfortable, you're free to tell me. But if you don't allow me to examine, then I cannot proceed further. Then you have to contact a male doctor, a female doctor, something like that he has to say. Suppose, and here also there is a problem. Sometimes, and doctors have contacted me on this, my own students, they say that, sir, one woman came with her husband. And I think probably he was right, whatever this doctor told me, but he had no way to prove it. What he told me, he was my student, it's a long 10 or 20 years back. I just don't remember, but I remember this case very, very vividly because it's a very interesting problem which I never thought would occur. He said, sir, this one came with her husband and she had a lump in her breast, and I told her in presence of her husband that I'll have to examine her breast, and they both agreed. Then we went to the examination room and the husband also came along. She herself undressed herself in the presence of her husband, and then I examined, and they were both very comfortable. For 3 days, for 3 subsequent meetings, he told me that they came, he all the time examined everything. But now suddenly they are saying that they are not only saying, they have gone to Delhi Medical Council saying that this doctor has been touching me inappropriately for 3 days, and so his name should be cancelled from the, and now this is a very serious allegation, and because once your name is removed from the Delhi Medical Council, you cannot practice. You cannot legally practice. You will be caught. You're just a quack after that. And that's a very severe punishment. It's very severe. It's called a professional death sentence in our vocabulary, As a matter of fact, we very frequently ask the students, MBBS students, what is professional death sentence? Now, professional death sentence is not the ordinary death sentence where the people die. And many students say that, sir, it is hanging in our countries. It's nothing with that. No harm occurs to the body of the person, the body of the doctor. The only thing is professionally he's dead. So it's professional death sentence. So he had received a letter from Delhi Medical Council that such and such lady has given the such and such accusation, and please remember, please come on such and such day and tell us why your name should not be removed from the Delhi Medical Council. Please remember, as I told you, removal of the name from the medical register is a very, very serious. After that, you can sell fruits or vegetables, but you cannot do practice. So I said, you must have asked her and you must have taken written consent. Now, please remember, there are two types of consent. And here, the doctor that committed mistake, और मैंने उससे पूछा, मैंने कहा यार तुमको मैंने इतनी फोरेंसिक सिखाई, you understand Hindi, all of you? So I said, I told you, I taught you forensic. So don't you remember? So he said, I mean, Hindi in a very interesting manner. Sir, we read forensic only for 1 day or 2 days because everybody passes in forensic. So I said, look here, how long did you study pathology? Sir, pathology, I read the entire year. And how many slides you are seeing now today? No, sir, we are sending all the slides to the pathologist. So what you read throughout the year, you are not doing. Actually, you are sending the slides to the pathologist. Microbiology, how much time did you study? Sir, throughout the year. How many cultures are you making? Sir, all urine cultures, all sputum cultures, we are sending them. So whatever you are studying, you getting it done from somebody else. But whatever you did not study, that is causing you problem. So this is one of the biggest problems, that doctors are not studying this. So consent is of two types. One is oral consent or verbal consent, another is written consent. That is, everything is written and the patient signs there. So I said, did you take an express consent or written consent? So he said, sir, what is express, what is written? Or what is implied? Implied consent means it's just understanding. So he just did not know even that. So I said, you are saying that your husband, her husband, everybody was there. Have you got it written somewhere? He said, no, sir, there's no such thing. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you have to write it on a OPD slip that I have been told that such and such examination will be done on me and I agree with this. And then she has to sign and her husband has to sign. This is known as express or written consent. So that consent was not there. Now, so you imagine, even in the case of course, it does not happen in the case of males very often. But if you examine a male also without consent, even then it is a crime. Now, what will happen in this accused? Coming back to this accused. So his lawyer will tell him that, the signs of struggle that are on your body, that is scratch marks, bite marks, torn clothes, doctor can only examine when you give consent. So you don't give consent. And that's a very good thing he can do in the law. He is a rape accused, but you have to still take consent from the person, otherwise he will charge you with battery. Battery is not their criminal force, section 350. So then later on, the law understood that, look here, we must abolish this freedom to a rape accused at least. So they added 53A after that. So now 53A clearly says, and this is very interesting, that's why you must know it. And that's why I took so much time to explain it at the cost of this lecture. But that lecture we can take again. But until unless you understand everything, you'll not be with me. So then they added 53A. And what they wrote in 53A was that if a rape accused has been brought by a police, please try to understand what they say in 53A. If a rape accused is brought by police to the doctor needs no consent from him. This is a very important, addition. But it came to their mind only after these things started happening. So this law is also evolving, it's also evolving. Every day it is evolving. For example, after Nirbhaya case, a number of things they knew that should have happened, but they didn't happen. So they had a massive, overhaul of the rape law, actually. I always say that in 2013, we had to change our books completely after that, especially the rape chapter. So rape, this law is always evolving. So I was talking about 53. You don't have to now. 50. Now coming to 174 and 176, which was our primary. So I was trying to just tell you the importance of these sections of the codes. So section 174 will tell you that the police will examine the scene of crime. And section 176 says that the magistrate will examine the crime scene, but there is absolutely no mention of doctors. Even now. Now, why in the first place should a doctor go to the scene of crime? And this happens in USA, for example. I've been to USA, and I have been to UK and went to several other countries. In most developed countries, doctor does go. It is, I think, only in our country. And please remember, police. Students used to ask me, sir, how to remember which is a poor, because they want quick fix. So I said, remember PO. PO stands for police and PO stands for poor. So police inquest is poor. But doctors is decent. It's a decent inquest. But how? So, this case, this boy's name was Ankur Sharma, because yesterday I was reading this case. Because I told you, I thought that, no, actually in India, what happens? Police, doctor will never be called to the scene of crime, will never be called. But by convention, by practice, by courtesy, if a doctor says to the police, I want to attend the scene of crime, then out of courtesy or out of respect for the doctor or out of whatever relations or even the thing that our case will be solved easier, they will arrange a transport and they will take you to scene of crime. And naturally, I could help them. So ultimately, a time came when whenever they will find a body like this, they will straight away take me there. They will never go there because they understood that if we disturb the scene of crime, then doctor will not be able to help. So this boy, he was around, because yesterday when I was thinking, yesterday, day before, that what cases to choose, because I have thousands of such cases, So my problem was to select 10 or 15 good cases, which will be illustrious to you. So I chanced upon this case and I thought, yes. But when I read this case, it was for me itself, it was a revelation. Oh, such a good case. This boy's name was Ankur Sharma. I remember it not because only yesterday I was reading it. And he was about 23, 24, and he was in love with a girl called Chandani. That girl's name also I realized only yesterday. And one fine day, they find his body here. Now, interesting things are here. And this is the body as I found it. It's very thankfully, police had not disturbed it. Things that I would like you to see. See, can you see my mouse here or no? No? Can you see the mouse?
Yes, sir.
You can see the mouse?
Yes, sir.
So good. So this is the body of the person. And can you see what is this thing where I'm encircling? Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
What is this?
Yes, sir. Mobile phone.
This is a mobile phone. Very good. And what is this thing?
Gun, sir.
This is a country-made gun or katta. We call it
Improvised firearm.
improvised firearm. Very good. That's a very good word. Improvised firearm, or we call it katta. Yes. What is this?
Footwear.
This is a footwear. Yes, chappal. And what is this? This is also chappal. Yesterday I thought I will show you from the original. Original picture. Actually, I can enlarge that. But now, after all this trouble, I'm afraid to do that because even I will lose this. So I will not show. Here it is some puddle of water, here, because this body was found in the morning and the entire night it had rained. Now what? Police came to me early in the morning at my house, around 8 or whatever. I was not even ready, getting ready to go to college. So, sir, आपको यहाँ जाना है, some distant place. So I said, okay, I'll come. Have you disturbed the body? No, no, sir, we have not. You tell me the story, so we'll tell you in the way. The story was that the policeman told me, which of course they got from her girlfriend, so-called girlfriend. It is a one-sided love actually. So he was in love with a girl called Chandani. And from all the indications that the police gave me, this other girl was not. Even the interrogation that the police did, that girl never was very much happy with this relationship, or probably never had it. So this boy, Ankur, and he is the son of a very... Yesterday I was seeing all the records, my own records, and her father, I had even a scan of his father's card. Unfortunately, I can't show that because that will disclose his identity, but he's a very, very senior officer in a government office. Very senior, at the level of a secretary. So the police went to the Chandani and his father, and they said that this boy had come to their house on the previous day at about 7 or 8 or whatever. And he wanted to meet her or probably take her out or propose her. I just don't know what happened. But her father scolded her very much, probably thrashed him also, and asked him to get out. Then he came out, and nobody knows what happened after that. In the morning, his body was found. That was the story I got. Now, you know, this boy's father, I'm telling with this high position, this girl's father was, I think, if I remember, some colonel or something in army. But this boy's father was also a very big shot. So they were from good families, actually. So his father was also there. And all the bheed and crowd and everything. And they were saying that this man had killed him, or probably had him killed by his goons or whatever. And that sounds like a very good story, you know. Why? Because he had come and he had thrashed him. And he has said also, ki, next time you meet my daughter, I will kill you or something like that. So this fellow was in trouble, you know, this lieutenant colonel or colonel, whatever he was. Because the girl herself, they have told them that this has happened. So police was saying कि sir ये बताना है कि ये homicide है कि suicide है. Now the problem was you have to tell what. Now I'll tell you, had this body been brought to me in the mortuary, probably I'll not be able to do such a good job. What I could do here. You know, when I was, you know, one of the biggest problems that you have in such cases is the time of death. Because what you know is that at 6:30 or 7, he was thrashed. So 6:30 or 7, we are sure he was alive at that time, because there are two witnesses, the girl and her father. And in the morning at 8 o'clock, he is dead. So we are sure about two times. At 7 o'clock, he is alive, 7 p.m. the previous day, and 8 a.m. today, he is dead. So death has occurred between these two periods. Now, for whatever time I was in UK, USA, whatever, when they used to visit the scene of crime, one of the things they had in their kit was a thermometer, rectal thermometer. The first thing they do is to introduce a rectal thermometer in the rectum. That's the first thing they do, first. And how it helps you? It helps you in a very interesting way. You know, the temperature of the rectum, or for that matter, for the entire body, is around 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit at all times. Even in winters, when we are shivering, it is 98.4 because we maintain our temperature. Even in summers, when we are sweating, it's 98.4. It doesn't happen in lower animals like frogs or snakes. That's why these people will hibernate. These animals will hibernate in winters because they have to remain warm and their body cannot provide that warmth. So we are always warm as long as we are alive. But the moment the person is dead, it starts cooling, you know, it starts cooling. Just like I always give an example to my students. That's like a cup of tea. You go to a restaurant and you all are, you know, scientific people. You probably have even some idea about this, but even a villager, when he goes to a tea shop and the tea is cold, then you say, why are you giving me old tea? So he will say, no, sir, I have made a fresh tea. So he said, no, it's cold. It's cold. I know it's almost 2 to 3 hours old. So instinctively, when the tea is cold, he can tell you, a villager, who has no idea of Newton's law of cooling. What does the Newton's law of cooling says? That any hot body will start cooling to the environmental temperature, and the rate of loss of heat is proportional to the difference of the two temperatures. For example, the environmental temperature, let us say, is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Your temperature is boiling tea is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius. So 212 minus 65, what is the difference? It will be that much faster. So in cold, outside 0, So difference is 212 minus 0, there is more. So it will cool faster because the cooling is proportional to difference of the two. Difference. On the contrary, if the hot object is very hot, for example, a hot metal ball, for example, is at 1000 degrees Celsius, then it will cool very fast, probably first 100 Celsius in 1 hour itself. So basically that's not Newton's law of cooling. But we suppose he is not educated, even then he can tell you that it's a cold body. So I always used to tell my police officers or police people, यार सबसे पहले body को touch करके देख लिया करो, because they used to bring about 6 to 7 hours later. By that time, anyway, the body is cold. Sometimes the body will come in the night when we are all at our home, and they will give the body to that technician who is on the duty, and then he will keep in the cold room. So even if it is warm, next day when the doctor arrives, it's cold anyway. So that is one biggest problem. And once it is cold, then you cannot tell the time. So the first thing I did was to take the rectal temperature. Now there is a very complicated formulae, and I will not go into that because that will take some more time. But I could say that he must have died around 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. So I told the police, look here, what I can understand is that the death was around 1 a.m. Now, this thing and this weapon, one thing you must understand, it is very, very unusual, very, very unusual for a murderer to leave a weapon there. Very, very unusual. So when I saw even the police is aware of it. So they had an idea that this might be a suicide because the weapon is there. Because suppose you have suppose this has occurred in a room, for example, and let us say he has a stab wound. He has a stab wound, and suppose it is homicidal, suicidal, then you must find the canchi or scissors or a knife, whatever is there in the room itself, because he has committed suicide and this dagger cannot walk. But if it's a homicide, then it will not be there. So one thing we can 100% say, that if the weapon is not there, then it cannot be suicide. But if the weapon is there, then it is not automatically suicide. It may be homicide, maybe he forgot. He was so worried or he was so afraid that he ran away, and later on he realized, but now he's afraid to come back. So it doesn't rule out suicide or homicide. But suppose it was not there, then we can say yes, it's homicide, because it's a 100% a gunshot. I'll show you where the gunshot was. That is a mystery. What is there on the front part? And this is a very interesting mystery, because on the back you cannot see anything. But another problem was that his things were scattered. When you are finding scattered things, then it gives a sign of struggle. In Sushant Singh Rajput case, police showed me, I had retired by that time. But even the police came, sir, these are the crime scene photographs. Because now, and the scene of crime was in Bombay. So naturally they could not. So I'll show you that picture also, what they submitted. But this, whenever you find this disturbed scene, then you think that some struggle must have occurred. So this footwear here, this footwear here, this mobile here, and mobile was not working. You know why? Because the entire night it had rained. Entire night. That is why this you find some watery puddles here. And that is interesting from another point of view, which we'll soon understand. So I said, let me have a next. So if we can see the next. So this is a bigger, view. But by this time, the other thing is left. So let us go the next. This is the another view, which the police photographer said on my instance. So nothing much was here. This was another view which shows the two slippers. And you can see some blood here, you can see some blood here. And some watery pool. It is not water clear, but some, wet ground. This, when we turn the body, this bleeding on the face, this is rarely seen in society, rarely. So what is the issue? What has happened? Now, when I saw this thing, suddenly everything was clear. Everything was clear. Can anybody of you tell what is so clear? Let me see if I can know. It cannot be enlarged, but can you see what is so important here? Anybody? This is a problem with the online because everybody cannot interact. So anyway, this hand and this hand, they are both showing blood spatters. This hand and this hand both are showing blood spatters. This is a very, very strong sign that he had committed suicide, because when you touch the revolver or the cutter, whatever, with your abdomen or chest, in this case it was the abdomen, the blood will gush back. The blood will gush back to the hands, and your hands will be spattered. This is known as back spatter. Front spatter. Back spatter is that it also goes inside the gun. And both are important. This back spatter is not examined by us. That is examined by the forensic people like you. So I said, look here, it is 99.9% suicide, because this kind of a front spatter I will not see in a homicide case. Because homicide, essentially, if it is done by a, what is the difference in homicide with a dagger and the homicide with a gun? Gun is essentially a distant weapon. You don't need to come to the victim to kill him. You can kill him from 10 feet, 20 feet, even from a different building. Kennedy was killed from a very different building. As a matter of fact, it was, for some time, it was not even clear from which building the bullet has come. But the same assassination cannot happen with dagger, because in dagger you have to come to the victim. That is the essential difference between these two weapons. So in what happened in this Shoaib Ilyasi case, Shoaib Ilyasi case was again another very, very important case that came to me. Not on, the first postmortem was done by some other people, but to me the pictures came. Shoaib Ilyasi was a very, very famous TV presenter. You probably don't know him, but he used to run a program called India's Most Wanted in 1990s. I think most of you were not even born at that time, but I was a young professor at that time, and I used to see that program. That was a good program, and he had a star, appearance, just like Rajat Sharma these days, and he was in the Rajat Sharma's channel only. And he used to run a weekly program called India's Most Wanted. If you go to YouTube and if you write India's Most Wanted, you can actually see one or two episodes there. I tried it and I can see 1 or 2 episodes, and then there you can see how he used to present. He was such a good presenter, very much liked by all the people, and from his show many people were caught. So he himself was accused of killing his wife Anju Ilyasi. Their daughter's name was Alia, and on her daughter's name was Alia Productions. So this is again a very, very highly interesting case. But let us complete this case first, and if we have time, we can deal with those cases also. So I told them, okay, look here, this seems like a suicide to me, 99.9, but we can send this gun also. Because the inside of the gun, the barrel of please remember the barrel of the gun, if it shows blood, which of course is examined by the forensic scientists, not by us, it's virtually, the gun is telling you. That's why they say dead men tell tales. It's the people who speak, dead people. So I always say dead people will always speak the truth. It is only the living people who will lie. Dead people will never lie. But they speak in a very secretive or special language. That language is forensic medicine. Now, if you read the official definition of forensic medicine, it's something I don't want to tell you. I mean, there's no use because you will hardly understand it. But unofficial, it is my personal definition. Don't quote it anywhere because it is made by me only. Forensic medicine is the art of learning the language of the dead. It is the art of learning the language of the dead. So his hands are telling you something, his clothes are telling you something, his face is telling you something, and he is not speaking the lie. He will always speak the truth. So I used to further tell them that, if you learn German, French, Russian, or some Indian language, you will take 5, 6, 10 years to become proficient in it. But I have been learning this language for the 45 years and still I am not efficient in it. Even in the course, sometimes I used to say that I am a student of forensic medicine. I still, at the age of 67, I say I'm a student of, I'm still learning. Every day I learn. Every day. And the day you stop learning, you are dead. And judges used to like this very much. They say, sir, we daily face medical experts and they say that they are the experts. And we know how much experts they are. And you, who we think are expert, you are saying I am a student. Because once in Shoaib Ilyasi case, Siddharth Luthra was the defense lawyer. So he said, doctor, you call yourself, he had brought my own books there, my own books, which it has become a habit for me to see my own books in the court, confronting me with my own books. So he just banged those books in front of my witness box. You call yourself an expert, now you tell me. I said, oh, no, come, Mr. Luthra, please stop. When did I say that I'm an expert? So he said, are you not an expert? I said, no, I'm asking you, when did I say I am an expert? When did I tell you? So he said, what are you? I said, I'm a student of forensic medicine. And this thing has happened in 2013, 2014, when I was still around 58 or 59. So he says, Dr. Saab, it is very easy, very nice to say all this in an ordinary talk. Here you are in the court. You want me to dictate it? Yes, you dictate it. I said you dictate it. So he dictated, volunteered, because it's a volunteered statement. He never asked me. Please also understand, only a medical witness can volunteer a statement. No ordinary witness cannot volunteer a statement. Even if he volunteers, it will not be admitted. And whenever a statement is volunteered, they will always write volunteered, and then they will say. So it was a volunteered statement. Volunteered. I am a student of forensic medicine. He typed it. Now, once he types it, it means now I have said it. There's a typist, if you have visited a court, there's a typist who will know. And now he is very comfortable. Dr. Saab, now you tell me, you are a student, now how you became a professor? I said that I don't know. You have to ask the UPSC for that, because UPSC has selected me. And you have to ask the promotion committee, because I never became professor myself. Then judge, I think Virender Bhatt or somebody, such started saying, अरे डॉक्टर साहब, अरे लूथरा साहब कहाँ फंस गए इन डॉक्टर साहब के चक्कर में, आप आगे बढ़ो, ये तुम्हें ऐसे घुमाते रहेंगे. तो gradually, even the lawyers knew that, and you should have the courage to say this, because you are learning. You are learning. And some, even my own students used to tell me, सर एक बात बताएं आपको, आके प्राइवेटली दे विल मीट मी, सर आप क्लास के अंदर ये मत बोला करें कि ये तो क्वेश्चन मुझे आता ही नहीं, कल बताऊंगा. तो मैंने कहा भाई क्या बोले, फिर जब नहीं आता तो बोलना पड़ेगा ना, नहीं आता. तो बोले नहीं सर ये अच्छा नहीं लगता आपके मुंह से. तो मैंने कहा क्यों अच्छा नहीं लगता भाई? कहता है क्योंकि आप इतने बड़े प्रोफेसर हैं. तो मैंने कहा यार प्रोफेसर है तो क्या दुनिया भर की चीजें आती हैं मुझे तो आधी और चौथाई भी नहीं आती शायद. नहीं सर आप ऐसा किया करो, you should ask him a difficult question related to that question, that then he will not be able to answer. Then you say no you don't know anything, you come tomorrow and in the night you can study. तो मैंने कहा यार दोस्त ये काम मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा, क्योंकि my personality is not like that. And then I realized how I used to behave when I was a young doctor. When I was young, then I was very protective. I used to say probably something like that. But now, after such a long life, I have absolutely no hesitation in saying that I don't know. Because when you don't know, you have to admit it. Now, we sent the gun also for this thing, and as I had said, it was there in the blood was there in the barrel. Then this was the scene which the policeman had made, where the bodies here and some things are there. But I would have made slightly different. But I would say, going by the police sketch. Now this is signed by Sanjay Kumar Sethi or some inspector, PS somewhere, and 24/8/2011. So it's a 2011 case, This was in the DDA park, Suryanagar. So we took this picture just to know where he was lying. This was a very interesting thing. This was the phone of Chandni, because her phone, his phone, this boy's phone was not working because of the rain. And the good thing is, you know, had he been lying like this, then you would not have found this thing. So it was just a very, very happy coincidence that he was lying on his stomach, and this complete stains were protected. Had he been like this, then all this would have been washed. Even if this body would have brought to me by the police, they would have washed it. Let me tell you, they would have 100% washed it. ये डॉक्टर साहब के पास क्लीन बॉडी जानी चाहिए. आरुषि के केस में यही हुआ था. In Arushi's case, you know, even the press people were going inside. And बड़े साहब आ रहे हैं, सारा साफ कर दो. तो जो ग्लास पड़े हुए थे वहां पर जिसपे की फिंगरप्रिंट होते थे, those glasses were cleaned, and the wall, on the wall, I am told there was a fingerprint, bloody fingerprint, like handprint. They washed it. Police people. That's what I am told. That बड़े साहब आ रहे हैं, सब कुछ साफ होना चाहिए. So what to say? This is the kind of training, because we don't train them. So I have a video where I'm training some police officers. Now let us see whether we get a time to show this or not, but I thought I'll show you. Where because unfortunately we can't take students like you to this scene. First of all, at 8 o'clock they have come. So how can I ring you, all of you up, and then how to arrange your transport, everything, and then you will be trampling the scene. So that's not possible. The only thing we can do is that we can recreate a scene. So I recreated a scene, and throughout my life, I used to take classes of the police officers. How you should protect the crime scene, and how you should understand the crime scene. Because in one particular case, I very clearly remember it was Saturday. So in Saturday, we had a half day. So 1 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, he must have come with a body. So it was received by the mortuary attendant. He put in the cold room. Sunday postmortem nahi hua. Monday, when I reached there, body was cold. So I told police officer, did you touch the body? नहीं सर, बॉडी को कहाँ टच कैसे किया, मतलब क्या मतलब? मैंने कहा उसका शर्ट उठा के उसके पेट पे हाथ रखना होता है. Because you don't have thermometer, you don't have a expertise to introduce the thermometer. At least you can keep your hand on the stomach. नहीं सर, वो तो नहीं किया. तो यार, you could, from next time, at least you keep your hand on the stomach and chest, because these are the areas which are protected by the clothing, so they are relatively warm. So you cannot tell me what exactly the temperature is, but you can tell me whether it was warm or whether it was cold. If it is warm, then I can say around 8 to 10 hours in winters, and up to like 13, 14 hours in summer. In summer, the body cools slowly. Winters, it cools very fast. And there are formulas for that. So they did not even know that we have to note the temperature by just keeping our. So that is why the police inquest is poor, because they don't even know such basic things, that we have to know the temperature of the body and what was the position of the hands, all those things. They just don't know. They are never trained like that. So this was this thing. And then yes, then I said, because his phone is not working, so let us see this girl's phone. So they seized the girl's phone, and there at this received at 9:15 p.m. on 23rd. So this is another view, another that till 9:15 he was alive, because he has sent a message. I had calculated 1 a.m. So then tell her once, talk to me. I could not understand this, because this is probably you can understand, because I have never messaged. But what I remember, the police told that he says that he wants to talk to her. Then Chandani, I need to talk, and all this. Then this is the wound on the gunshot wound on the abdomen, very interesting wound, which shows that it's a contact wound. First of all, look inside the wound, all black. Usually this is not the experience, is not the appearance. Appearance is red. Had it been distant, it would be red, because there's a blood and there is tissues, which are soaked with blood. So it's black. Why it is black? And what is this thing? This is the muzzle mark. So muzzle was muzzle of the gun. It was pressed to the abdomen, and when the bullet exits, 3 more things exit out of the bullet. 3 more things. One is the flame, one is the burnt gunpowder, and one is the unburnt gunpowder. Burnt gunpowder is nothing but smoke, black. And they travel for different distances. Flame travels for some distance. Smoke will travel a little farther, and unburnt gunpowder will travel the farthest. So up to about, if the victim is up to about, let us say, 12 or 15 feet, we can say with fairly good accuracy that this person must have been so much far. But once he's out of that range, that's 15 feet range, then very difficult to say. So this black is because this all soot, which has all entered inside the, wound, and that's making it black. And this is the muzzle mark, because what happens is not that he is pressing so hard. What happens that all the gases, because gases also go. Gases go inside, and then from inside they try to uplift this part of the skin against the muzzle. So it's like a very strong impact of this part of the skin against the muzzle by the gases from the behind. And so this muzzle mark gets imprinted. So by now, absolutely clear, it was a contact wound, and a person who is wanting to kill you, he will be a fool that he will come near you, he will put gun on your, and there was no necessity. In case of dagger, there is a necessity. There is no necessity to come near, to touch and this thing, and then it should have gone through the clothing. Clothing is intact. So there were so many other things. And now this boy, the girl's father, he was very much relieved, and he said, "Sir, Dr. Saab, I'm very happy that you have saved me. Otherwise, they would have caught me, and I would have been probably hanged." Because this boy's father was also very, very influential person, far more influential person than this. Of course, this boy's father was not happy with me, but you know, we are not working to make somebody happy. We have to make the law happy. Now, this is another scene. This is a typical homicide scene, you know. Can you tell me what it looks like, this place, where it can be? House, outside the house, office, what can it be?
Office.
That's a very good try. Even I would have said that, so good try. But this was on a ship. This was on a ship which was sailing from, this is Rajan Agarwal's murder case. If you Google this, Rajan Agarwal's murder case, this also came to me. Rajan Agarwal was a captain of a ship. This ship, and this is the room of the Rajan Agarwal, who is the officer, commanding officer of that ship. On that ship, it was his room. So it's on the ship. And this ship, this murder occurred in mid-sea. And when the ship, and another thing, let me tell you, in mid-sea, if a murder occurs, there is no police there. You cannot call a police. The only thing is that you will send some kind of a message to the nearest port. And who will send? The other people, not the murderers. They will probably catch the murderers, but and send some. So they will land to the nearest port, and the nearest port was Spain. So this ship had landed in Spain, and I did not go to Spain. The policemen were sent these pictures, and they showed these. So I saw only the pictures. So this is what was the story. Story was that, you know, some of my friends happen to be in shipping, so I know roughly what it's like to be on the ship. Because once you are at the entry level in the ship, because they were at the entry level, they are called some kind of you know, junior officers or whatever, and all the work they have to do, cleaning, this, that, cooking. So that's a very hard task. And shipping officer, that's the highest person, he is the boss. He will basically navigate the ship and look after the things, but he will not be doing all these cleaning things and all other things, housekeeping, because there is a housekeeping there also. So two you know, beginners who are just entering into the shipping business, young boys, they had some problem with Rajan Agarwal, but I heard from this Rajan Agarwal was a very tough officer, very tough officer. So one fine day, they had a fight with him. They killed him with some bottle. You can see some glass pieces here or whatever. They killed him with some glass pieces or whatever, and then they threw his body in the sea. Now, you know, this dead body is called corpus delicti in technical language. Perhaps you have heard the name. Corpus delicti means the body of offense. I mean, what is the importance of corpus delicti? Now, suppose there's a village. Let us say there's a village, and Ram and Shyam are known enemies to the entire village. Let us say this is a small village of 1,000 people. And Ram and Shyam are enemies, known enemies, and daily a fight occurs among them. Ram tells the Shyam, I'll kill you. One day I'll kill you. And Shyam tells Ram, one day I'll kill you. Whenever I will find a chance, I'll kill you. So the entire village has heard these things, both of them saying all these things. One particular day, you find that Sham is missing. Sham is missing. He is no more in the village. He cannot be found. He cannot be found. So what is the natural deduction of each and every person? That Ram has killed him. But Ram says, no, I did not kill him. You can do my narco test, you can do my, although these tests are not valid, but they say you can do my polygraph or whatever. I have not killed him. Now, in such cases, the first thing that the police must prove that Sham has died. How do you know that Sham has died? Probably has left. Probably has been kidnapped. Probably some animal has taken him away. Or probably he is himself hiding somewhere. You know, I have done such cases. You will not believe it, but such a checkered life I had, where a person will take a married, there's a married couple, and not one case, several cases, you know. And there are some added complications in that also. But let me tell you the basic scenario. Basic scenario is that the man will take a life policy of 10 crores. And after filling up 2 or 3 premiums, with the understanding of his wife, he will disappear somewhere. On his own, he will disappear somewhere. And this wife will start crying. This is prearranged. The idea is to tell the insurance people that my husband has been killed. So you give me those 10 crores. Now, these insurance people, definitely, they are not so innocent that they will give 10 crores. Now, only thing that you have is that this person is not there. But how do you know he has been killed? This is known as corpus delicti. Corpus delicti means body of offense. Now, here also there is a complication. In 2 or 3 cases, what they have done, they have chosen a person. You will not believe it, but is a fact. If you want, we can have a separate class on that case only. They have chosen a person of the same build. They have killed him, put him in some car, in his own car, and burned the car completely. Burned the car completely, body also burnt. I'll show you one day. Very interesting case. And the woman is saying, yeah, this is my husband. Her husband is hiding somewhere. So now the corpus delicti is also there. But again, now you have the DNA. But DNA does not survive generally in such great fires. But there are so many other things. Once the bones are there, I am 100% sure I can identify the person. 101%. Teeth are there. Frontal sinuses are there. And I mean, so many other things. Teeth will give away. No 2 persons have the same teeth, let me tell you. So all these kinds of things. So this is known as corpus delicti. So many people have this idea that corpus delicti must be there, and it is correct. Normally corpus delicti, but in this case, in shipping case, where they have thrown the body in the sea, where the probably fishes has eaten him, from where he will bring the corpus delicti? There is no corpus delicti. So conviction can occur without corpus delicti. Please remember. Generally, it will not occur. Like in this Ram or Sham case, probably I will not convict if I were the judge. I will say to the police, bring his body, because we don't know what has happened to him. So all these, upturned. When I showed you a typical scene of suicide, and I'm showing you a typical scene of homicide. Not disturbed scene. Scene is not disturbed. Now see here. We started with this. This thing, something is lying here, something lying here. All these broken glasses, all these stains. This thing is here. This is not giving you a appearance of a ordered room. Some struggle has happened here. In Sushant Singh Rajput case, if I show you, it's not like this. You see something like this. If had it been homicidal hanging, and let me tell you, homicidal hanging anyway is a very, very rare phenomenon. Very, very rare. Why one would homicidally hang you when he can clearly strangulate you? See, upturned table like this. These broken pieces of glass. This, 11, this 12. This is not put by our police. This is by the Spanish police. I wish this is the 11th piece of evidence. This is the 12th piece of evidence. This is the 13th piece of evidence, like that. I wish our police would do like this. This is my set. Many people used to tell me, I used to have a very simple set. Thermometer I have not included for whatever reason, because when I took this picture, probably thermometer. This is my set. So very simple, a board. The thing which I used to take to the scene of crime. The board with some paper on it, some extra papers here. This is a lens, then one pen, one pencil, one blue and one this thing pen. This scissors for something you want to cut. Then this is compass, so that you can know the direction. That's also very important. And then this the tape measure. This can be to see the length of the wounds, width of the wounds, other. So you don't need a very complex. One thermometer we can add. I think I've got separate that picture somewhere. Now this is Mr. Who is running this program? Can we go on? Because I wanted to show you a movie also, 2 or 3. So is it okay to? Sorry.
Yes, sir, we can. Yes, sir, we can.
No, we can't, but I can see the participants leaving. So I have no problem. So, but are the most people happy to listen?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes,
sir, we
Yes,
can.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, because
So you can proceed, sir. You can proceed.
thank you. Whoever is that, I'm very happy.
Yes, sir. Fine.
Dr. Silvam, I'm very happy.
Yeah. I am one of the medical college, sir.
Yes, because your name is very familiar to me.
Yes, sir. I am when I am Mission Scribana Varian Medical College. I am working in the Department of Forensic Medicine as associate professor.
Thank you, dear. You are a very good boy, and
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes. Go ahead, sir. Please. Sir.
Okay. Now this picture, I have taken. This is not a scene of crime, but it will tell you something about circumstantial evidence. Now, circumstantial evidence is a very, very vague term which people don't understand. From this picture, I will try to tell you what circumstantial evidence is. And then I will come to the actual cases where we have solved this case, but this is not a crime scene. This was taken early in the morning from my backyard. This is a scene you will see from my house, backyard of my house. And in the night when I slept, I know that it had not rained, and it was not a rainy season, so nobody expected rain also. But in the morning when I went to the back, it was not raining again. In the morning also it was not raining. In the night it was not raining. But what I saw is, this is the place where we hang our clothes to dry, you know. So these drops are hanging from here. These drops are hanging from here. These drops are hanging from here. So maybe my wife has given it a wash. So I could see some drops hanging from these wires also. So I definitely know my wife will not give a wash to these wires. And all these roads are also wet. All these roads are also wet. And these cars were also wet. Probably you cannot see everything is. So I can 100% say that it has rained in the night. 100% I can say in the night. How I am saying that it has rained in the night, and probably quite heavily, because it's and fairly recently also, because the drops are still hanging. But neither in the night it was raining, nor in the morning it was raining. And suppose somebody says, prove that it is raining. Now one thing can happen. My wife has given this thing a wash. Some gardener came and he was giving water here, although this is just a wasteland, but anyway, he threw, and this gardener went about throwing the water all over the place. But that's a very, very unusual assumption. Why would anybody? Always, there's a thing called Occam's razor. Please understand, there's a very, we don't tell this Occam's razor, O-C-C-A-M, O-C-C-A-M, Occam's apostrophe S, razor, R-A-Z-O-R. You please read it. Nowadays, you have got this Wikipedia, Google. When I was young like you, we had to run to the library for everything. So you are a very fortunate generation, let me tell you. But this technology has its problems, like it has avoided, it has prevented the contact from the students or teacher. That I don't like actually. But anyway, we have to face the technology. Occam's razor says that when you have 1,000 explanations for a one particular thing, usually the simplest explanation is the best. That is, in forensic also it is there. Please remember, when you have 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 possibilities, usually the simplest assumption is the truth. Because nature by its own nature is simple. Nature is not complex. Nature does not make anything complex. We make it complex. This is Occam's razor. And you believe it or not, I have used Occam's razor. And in my next editions, I am having a separate chapter on the Occam's razor. How I have used Occam's razor in my life. You also use it. The simplest explanation in this scenario is not that my wife has given a wash here, some gardener has through a pipe he has gotten, some gardener, some other people, or it is it's a day of Holi. Even in the holy day, you will not find so much, holy when everybody is throwing water on each other, even on the streets. Even then you will not find so much. Simplest explanation is that it has rained in the night. Have I seen it? Suppose this thing goes to the court and court tells me, doctor, have you seen that rain happening? I'll say no. So why you are saying this? I'm saying this because in the night this appearance was not there, and in the morning this appearance is there. This is circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence is you see A and you see B. A is the previous day and B is the next day. There can be C, D, E, F, more also, as I will tell you just now in forensics. None of the things A or B or C or D or E or F will tell you that it has happened. But when you see them all together, it is 100% sure that it has. This is Occam's razor or circumstantial evidence. Now I'll give you again an actual example. H and W, husband and wife. I will call them H and W. I will call them H and W, husband and wife, so that you know who is who. Otherwise, A and B you will forget. H and W. I'm now, after telling you this, what is circumstantial evidence? Otherwise, you read from the books, you'll never understand. Circumstantial evidence is not, suppose somebody had, now please remember the same case. Suppose somebody was out on the road at 3 o'clock and 3 o'clock it is started raining. So he starts running, or he stands under a shed, or he starts running to his own house. He is a direct witness. This is a direct evidence that he has seen it raining. So if the court tells both of us are right. But one is telling from the direct experience. This is direct witness or direct evidence that you have seen a murder occurring in front of your own eyes. That's direct evidence. But you have not seen the murder, yet from the two things you are saying that murder has occurred. None of them is direct. This is circumstantial, that A plus B plus C plus D plus E is telling me that it's murder, but I have not seen it. But yet I'm telling you, courts, in Arushi murder case, what happened? Nobody saw anybody killing anybody else. But yet her parents were convicted. Right or wrong, we can decide later. In murder cases, conviction on circumstantial evidence is rare actually. Rare. But it occurred in, it's not unknown. Now, husband and wife, H and W, they are husband and wife, and it is well known that they are not doing well. They are having fight daily. It's known to everybody. Their own family members, their neighbors, and everything. That is fact number 1, A. Fact number 2, wife goes to the market and buys some pest control, pest thing like arsenic. Now is not available, but at some pansari ke dukan you can have it, because some people take it for some health or something, some even in some Ayurvedic preparations, arsenic. So she buys some arsenic from a pansari or whatever. That is fact number 2. Fact number 3, that her husband is dead the next day. That's fact number 3. Fact number 4, a postmortem is done. Arsenic is found in his stomach, some arsenic-like particles, and on chemical examination, it turns out to be arsenic. That is fact number 4. Fact number 5, police raids the house of the woman, asks, where is the arsenic you bought? She shows this arsenic, and they say that it is only, you bought so much, but it is not less. So she says कि मैंने तो आटे की गुलियां बना के खिला दी चूहे को, कहाँ है वो आटे की गुलियां? वो नहीं है. This is fact number 5. Now what we are having? Two people who are constantly fighting. One day she is biting the arsenic. Same night the husband dies of arsenic. Postmortem proves that it is arsenic. And 5, arsenic is recovered from the female's possession and it is less in quantity that she bought. None of these facts by itself will tell you that the wife killed husband. But when you join all these 5, then judge will have a very little hesitation in convicting the wife, because the combination very strongly points in the direction of this thing. This is circumstantial evidence. But suppose he would have seen, somebody would have seen her mixing that arsenic in the food, then that would have become a direct evidence. So this is the difference between direct evidence and the, I will tell you a very interesting case that I did some time back. One of my good cases. You know, I was once told, brought a body. This person in the night at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, he went in a village. He went to sleep in his room. And in the morning, he was found strangled in his bedroom at about 8 or 9. Now the problem was, you know, in such things, these kinds of cases used to occur. This boy, for example, there's some young boys, they have failed. Some young girls, they are in love and their boyfriend has left him, or whatever, some problem is there. These boys, girls, or whatever children, they will have food with their parents in the night at about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Then they will go to their room, and in the morning they are found hanging. Now, when the room is closed from the inside, please remember this is a very simple rule, that when the room is closed from the inside, it is usually murder, suicide. Of course, now if you locked room mysteries are there. Locked room mysteries means you have found a body in the locked room, that is inside locked, all windows, all doors locked, yet it is a murder. That thing I have not seen in actual life, but if you read those stories, and there are some novels you can read which are only stories of locked room murders. But very, I've seen in one Syria also, the murder occurs in a lift, you know, lift which is stopped in between. So it's a locked room because the lift is stopped in between. But then they show that from the top it can be opened, and this person has come out from the top and then he has somehow escaped. But this locked room mysteries don't occur in the real life generally, not in my life at least. So generally when the room is closed from the inside, and these rooms are closed till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, the parents are thinking the child must be sleeping, then they start shouting, knocking, and ultimately they break the door and they find the child is hanging. Then in such cases, generally time of death does not matter, because 8 o'clock everybody knows he is alive. At 8 a.m. everybody knows he is dead. So he must have hanged himself. The scene is not disturbed. The room is locked from inside. So there is no question of knowing the time of death, but yet parents used to ask me, sir, कब इसने अपने आप को हैंग किया होगा? तो मैं पूछता था उनसे कि भाई क्यों पूछ रहे हो आप ये बात, इससे तो कुछ मिलने वाला नहीं है। वो कहते थे नहीं सर, हमारे हमारे मन के लिए कि भाई इसको हम क्या पता उस वक्त बचा लेते, इसको बात कर लेते, रात को हमने डांट तो लगाई थी इसको, ये फेल हो गया था। Then 2 or 3 things are, one is the rectal temperature that we can take. But you know, for some reason which I really can't explain, taking of rectal temperature has somehow not been accepted by our own community. So even they used to discourage me. I'm not sure why this is so, but I was trained in Edinburgh actually for a very long period, 4 or 5 years. So it had become second nature for me, but so I always found it very difficult to understand why we refrain from taking the rectal temperature. The simplest thing and the best thing to tell the time of death. The best thing. So generally, at the scene of crime, I will take, but in our own mortuary, I will avoid it because my own colleagues are not going to. Although one should not bother for your own colleagues, but then they also say ki, I heard them, yaar ye Edinburgh trained hai, ye wo. So they will, you know, backbiting, ye, there are all kinds of things. So they will think that he is trying to show off. Although that was when I'm in the court, I'm saying that I'm a student. Then why would I show off? Isn't it? Is it okay? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think it accidentally got muted. So because I suddenly saw the mute on. You can listen to me now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody laughed, and actually I liked that, because when you laugh, when you react, that gives me pleasure actually. And at least I'm happy you are not sleeping. So when somebody laughed, I was feeling very happy, but then suddenly everybody was mute. So this is a thing I miss actually. In my classes, I was very much used to laughing, clapping, questions. Then even I will make some person asking questions, going to him and patting him. You are done right. Yes, you are very nice. That kind of feeling is not there. But anyway, this technology, one day, I think even marriages will occur in an online world only. So we have to be ready. So we were somewhere. Where were we, my dear? Yes. This time of death. So I thought that let me not use my thermometer, and then there are two very nice things you can do. One is look at the stomach contents, because I know that at 8 o'clock he has eaten the food. And I also know that in 3 hours, most of the food will leave the stomach. Please remember this peristalsis, etc. They all stop after death. You know, all methods of determination of time of death, all methods, whether it is rigor mortis, whether it is postmortem staining, whether it is whatever, ultimately they all boil down to one thing. And that thing is, this person stopped living after this period and all body processes stopped after that. For example, let us say post-mortem staining. What is post-mortem staining? It is bluing of the body, most dependent parts. I've done some cases, but let me not go into that case. Either it'll take another time, but maybe we'll do in another case. Post-mortem staining is also a very interesting thing. In 4 hours, it will appear on the most dependent parts because the blood has stopped flowing. Now, you may stand for 10 hours, but no staining. Your legs will not show any staining. Why your legs will not show any staining? Because the heart is there, which is pumping, and the blood will not be stopped in the legs. But if a person has hanged himself, let us say he has hanged himself at 12 o'clock in the night. That means at 12 o'clock, his blood has stopped moving. When his blood has stopped moving, what the blood will do? Blood will behave like a passive fluid, and this passive fluid is in the effect of gravity, and all this blood will collect on the hands and legs. All this blood will collect on the hands and legs. In 4 hours, I'm giving you the very general figures, but they're varying. But anyway, in 4 hours, your hands and the feet will become blue if it is a case of a hanging. But if you stand for 4 hours, sometimes we walk for 4 hours, but nobody has a bluing of the legs. Why? Because your blood is flowing, your heart is working. And if after 4 hours, you suppose take the body off and you make it lie, then the post-mortem staining will redistribute because the blood is still fluid. It is known as redistribution of post-mortem staining. It will redistribute according to the parts which are now most dependent. But after 8 hours, the blood will get clotted in all the capillaries. And after that, if you change the position of a body, the post-mortem staining will not change. This is known as fixation of post-mortem staining. So very general rule I'll tell you. In 4 hours, it appears. In 8 hours, it becomes fixed. If you divide 4 by 2, that is 2 hours. In 2 hours, it appears as patches. 4 hours, it becomes like a sheet. And in 8 hours, it becomes fixed. That means after that, it will not. So one very interesting case, which I cannot refrain myself, although I know that we may be lacking short of time, but I will be missing a great case if I don't tell you this. Once, this police found this body of a person hanging from a tree in some small, forest, which was, so we have got city forest also, but there was a village, so outside the village, they found it hanging. So they brought the body to me. Sir, एक hanging का केस है, गरीब आदमी है. So, सर ये जल्दी से बॉडी दे दीजिए. एक बॉडी को डिस्पोज ऑफ करना है. I also thought it's a traditional hanging. But when I saw the body, and I'm telling you, the body, the dead men speak. And you have to know the language of the dead. So I am expecting the staining on the legs, but there is no staining on the legs. That is possible because maybe they immediately retrieved him. But the staining is on the back and that is fixed. You know, how do we know that it is fixed? That if I find it in the back or legs, whatever, so I will press my thumb very strongly. I press my thumb very strongly against the postmortem staining and for 2 minutes minimum. And when I remove it, my thumb mark should be there. Thumb mark means that blood must have moved away from here and there. So thumb is totally blanched. That means it is yellowish. But the rest of other thing is blue. But when this yellowish thing I don't see, that means the blood is not, I'm not able to move the blood away with my force. That means it's fixed. So I could not blanch it. So it means it was fixed. So one thing was sure, 100% sure, not even 99%, that this person has been dead for 8 hours and that he has been lying on his back for 8 hours. Because post-mortem staining is on the back and it is fixed. After fixation, if you change its position, the post-mortem staining will not redistribute. Then I told the police officer, I said, this is not a hanging case. This is not a hanging case. And one thing I can tell you, that this person has been on his back for about 8 hours. Then they said कि sir, ये तो बहुत ही गरीब आदमी है, इसको कोई मारने वाला है नहीं. मैंने कहा देखो दोस्त, my dear friend, when you speak in Hindi, you speak more natural. But well, because many may not be knowing. So my friend, the dead body cannot hang himself. Somebody has hanged his body after 8 hours because the post-mortem staining has not redistributed. So sir, how do you know this? The body is telling me. Dead men tell tales. Please reinvestigate. This might be a strangulation case, which is you are passing it off as a hanging. Of course, I did the postmortem, I did give the body, but after 6 or 7 days, they came with sir, you are right. You are right, sir. What has happened is that this man had some problem with these 2 people whom they have caught. Let them say A or B. Now, what problem they have, I will not go here because that is not going to help you in any manner. But they had a problem with this man for whatever reason. So they planned that they will take him to a forest on some pretext. They will strangle him first. And you know the ligature mark of strangling and ligature mark of strangulation, we all say. But in actual practice, it can be very, very difficult. Let me tell you that. In books, you will find very nice that it's very easy, like just permanent teeth and temporary teeth. So nice. Tables are so nice to read. You say, oh, everything is okay. This is permanent tooth, this is the temporary tooth. But when you actually see the tooth of a mixed age person like 7 or 8 or 9 year old, it's extremely difficult. Let me tell you that. So theory is something and practical is something different. So their plan was that they will first of all strangulate him and then they will hang him from a tree so that the police will take it off this thing. But what happened is, when they tried to hang him, that is the story which the people gave to the police. Of course, after they were caught, and of course, because the police investigated because of my telling them that it's a murder. Otherwise, nobody would have investigated the case. So they tried to hang him, but this rope was probably weak at some place, so it broke down and the body fell down. So their plan went wrong. So they thought that let us bring another rope from some market. So they hid the body in some grass in some place there. So it was lying on the back. Around about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the evening, I don't know, but that time. And then they went to the market. And by the time they came back with a new rope, there was an entry gate of the wood. So in front of that, there was a shamiana or a tent, marriage tent. And a lot of guests were there. So they thought now it is very difficult for us to go inside because people will ask, and at least they will see us going in, and then they will see us going out. So they said that we'll wait till this marriage. And this marriage, shamayana, in the villages generally happens for the night. So probably they came in the next morning, 8 o'clock or something. Till that time, the body was lying on the back. So the post-mortem staining appeared on the back. It got fixed. And then in the morning at 8 or 9 o'clock or whatever, they hanged it. So that is why it had remained fixed. So that is why sometimes the mechanism is so fast, so good that even the visiting of crime is not that important. Now here I was telling that the people, the children who commit crimes. So if you see the state of stomach, whether it is empty or not empty, and urinary bladder. Please remember this method very rarely is used by forensic pathologists, but I use this method very often. See the quantity of urine in the bladder. The bladder can hold almost up to 400 to 500 cc before you feel an urge to vacate it again. And very interesting, in the entire day, 24 hours, the output of urine is 1500 cc. That you can confirm from any physiology book. The output of urine is 1500 cc. And in a day, the total hours are 24. If you multiply it by 60, it becomes 1440. That is, again, for the sake of convenience, we'll take it 1500 minutes. So in 1500 minutes, you get 1500 cc of urine. That amounts to about 1 cc of urine per minute. 1 cc of urine per minute. So from the last urination, so whatever amount of urine you are having in the bladder, suppose I measure it and it turns out to be 200 cc. So I say he has died 200 minutes after the last urination. Generally, the last urination is at the time of sleeping, generally. But it is not sure. He might have woke up, and so this is not a very useful criteria, but yet a criteria. In one case, when I was shown, I will cut out the details because I am aware that this talk is becoming longer, but I'll cut out the details. And I want to show you one video in case you want to see, because I prepared one video with actual people, police officers and lawyers, where I actually created a scene of crime. I would love to show you that at least. So where actually, when a person was found dead in the morning, somebody had actually seen him urinating at around 1 o'clock in the night, because he always used to come out of his house and urinate at the back. And there was a person in the next house who saw it from the first floor. So he told that he has urinated at 1 p.m., 1 a.m. So from there, I had about 150 or 160 cc, I just do not know. But I knew that from 1 a.m. onwards, around 160 minutes later than that. And this had a great this thing. So now I will actually, there are some more slides, but I think this is some proposed amendments. Do you really want to see this, or should I show you the video first? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Now this, yes, this Sushant Singh Rajput case, only forensic experts should comment on the autopsy, says leading doctor. And then this body, this picture was shown to me by the police. So it was there, but the scene, scene, look at the scene. Scene is not like I showed you in Rajan Agarwal case. The bed is quite all right. All these cosmetics, everything is okay. This remote or whatever, everything is okay. And there's nothing on the floor. So at least from this, I could say that it does not appear to me like a homicide. This is the Buradi case where I was working, and this was the picture which I took at the place. This is also not a typical homicide, because they were saying that homicide. This is a very calm and quiet scene, And if you see at the top, there was a pattern here. I didn't realize there, but they said that this is some kind of a tantric pattern or some pentagon or something. This is, I wanted to tell you, but let us. This is again a very big case, but let me cut it out for the next time. This is the thing I made, and this is another case, another. This is I reenacted this is my own picture. So for the benefit of the police, I reenacted the case. If I have a time, I'll show you that. Like this also, the person can be asphyxiated. This is my reenactment. A person was found like this. This is the pane of the half open pane of the. This car is of the police, so I showed in their car. How? This is the half open pane. In half open pane, also like this, person can die. This is another view. So now this is over. So I'm sorry, last few cases I showed you very fast because I thought you were probably getting bored. But would you like to see the video, or would you like me to go back to this, or would you like to really end it up?
No, sir, we would like to continue.
Continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
With the same slides or with the video?
So with the video.
Yeah, let me show you the video because the slides are getting somewhat monotonous. And after that, if you have power means you have the desire or whatever. So let me see how I can show you that video. Yesterday I made some practice on how to show you this, but Let me see. 1 minute. These are the links and movies to show. So I have to show you this link. Yes. So let me show you this link here. And game player. So this is a, let me see whether you can, if you can hear, then only, because the videos will speak something probably. Can you hear these things? Can you see the video and hear it or what?
No, sir, video is not visible.
Video is not visible. Okay. I am showing. Okay. Is it visible now?
No, sir, it's not visible.
Okay. So 1 minute. Which screen I'm sharing with you? I'm not sure.
Your PowerPoint presentation slideshow is visible only, sir, not a video.
Okay. So let me see. Where was the PowerPoint? Oh, PowerPoint was
This
1 minute. 1 minute. PowerPoint was in the second video number 2, screen number 2. Screen number 2. So let me take it to the screen number 2. It's only because I'm so new to this kind of technology. Uh, 1 minute. Can you see something moving? It's a small or whatever. No? Double size. Can you see the video? No, no?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
So,
Let me see. Let me try it another way. I'll bring it to other side. Can you see now? No?
No, sir.
No.
Oh, so I have tried both screens. I have tried both. I just don't know how to show you this video. But this was a good video. But I have I can't see a thing of any way by which, because I have shared it in both ways.
Sir, do you link this video with your presentation slides?
No, no, no. This is a separate video. Video is separate. I could have linked it. Do you want me to link it?
It is the only way to present, sir. Otherwise, you have to. It is the only way to present. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
it will.
I thought that I understand. This means sharing of the screen means only the PPT. You can't see anything else on my screen. Okay. So I think I can do that probably in one more slide. Let me see one thing. 1 minute. Okay, one thing. I will include the video here. Let me see whether I can do it or not. If I cannot, then we'll call it a day. Otherwise, yeah. Let me see. It's saying, yes, it is inserting the video into the PowerPoint. Okay, so this was news to me that I cannot anyway. So now it is there. So Can you see very small video?
Yes, sir. It's visible now.
Okay. So now let me see what I can do. One minute. Can you see now?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So one thing is clear, that I can only see, you can only see when it is within the video. So I'll tell you, this is myself. This is an artificial scene. But can you hear the voice also or no? Not now, but let me run it first. Can you listen some voice? Nothing?
Yes, sir.
You can listen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So because my
Yes, sir.
because my speaker is down, I can bring it up actually. Let me. Okay, it's not coming, but anyway.
Yes, sir. It's fine, sir.
It's fine with you? Okay, because I wanted to begin. Now, these are, these people, some of these were training for the police and for hire people also, ACPs, lawyers, and even judges, I think. And this is in National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science, Rohini. I used to go there. So they told me, sir, you have to show us our people scene of crime. So I prepared it's an artificial scene. But so I'm just explaining these people how to see I will keep on telling you what actually I'm doing. This person in the yellow shirt is the person who called me there. Can you listen that I'm just telling about the Arshi case? So let me forward it, because probably you cannot. Can you listen to what I was saying? If you cannot listen, then probably not much of a use, Then in that case, what we can do is
Not clearly.
not clearly. So yes, in that
sound
case,
is very low.
Sound is very. So in that case, let me do one thing. Let me mute it, and then I will speak for myself what I was speaking at that time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let me mute it. So I have muted it now. So at least it is not disturbing me now. This is what is happening is I'm just telling them what are the drawbacks of a wrong investigation, and I was telling them about Arushi case, what happened to them. So some basic things. Then my basic instruments, etc. I brought there. This is Mr. Sethi who had invited me. And these people are all trainees, police trainees or whatever. Throughout my life, I used to do this. But once I said that let's make a video. So I will forward it somewhat, because it is this scene of crime. I prepared at 2 different floors. So we are the ground floor now. So I will now I'm telling them that how you have to protect the scene of crime. So you have to wear something on the shoes also. They don't do this. So you have to wear these things I have brought, and I'm just telling them you have to wear these things. These are like masks you wear. So they are the foot masks, or we call it foot this thing. So I said you have to put this foot things, and even in the hands should be like that. That's what I'm telling them. So then I take them to let us see. So in the hands also I have worn something now. So I'm telling that, so this, because somebody must have, आने के लिए कोई आदमी suppose वो दबाता है, bell, doorbell, so that minute, then I'm telling you more other things. I think it was best that I would have given this video to one of you, and but anyway, so here they kept an artificial doll, and this was supposed to be a dead body. So I think it's not much use wasting your time here, but then because unless you can listen, even I have forgotten what I was showing, and you have to see the eyes to see whether this person is really dead or not. The doctor will only tell you, but sometimes, you know, this is one of the uses of doctors to go to the scene of crime, because this person may actually be alive. So you have to see the eyes, and you have to throw light at the eyes and see whether the pupils are contracting or not. So all those other things. So I'm just telling them this, most probably yes. And then what all you have to see, this body, the warmth. I'm touching the body, so you have to see the warmth of the body and all those things. So then,
sir, can we do one thing? You just forward the video to us, and we will forward the video to the participants.
yeah, I think that would be the best. So what I will do is, so I think it is already a lot of time. So what we'll do is, I will, because this is a 10 GB video. This is what I can know, 30 GB, 30 GB. That looks like 3 GB, or I can't read it. It says 30, 44, 522 KB. So from this, you can understand what is the size should be. So I will share this with you on a Google Drive.
Sure, sir.
You can probably share it with your participants also. So we can do this. And now for today, I think we should be done. And I think you have any questions, I would be happy. Any questions from any participant?
Thank you, Dr. Anil. It was indeed an amazing session.
No questions are there. Not even one.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Harshita, tell me. I can see your name.
Sir,
That's,
actually, I want
that's
to
how.
know about that suspended.
Sorry?
I want to know about that suspended animation of death ka scientific explanation. Like, as in, sir, lot of samadhis and all they take.
ये अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. अब ये मैं इसलिए नहीं कह रहा कि मुझे नहीं आता, मुझे आता है, लेकिन ये अभी लंबा टाइम लग जाएगा और ये इससे रिलेटेड भी नहीं है, इसलिए अगली बार करेंगे इसको. इट्स ए गुड क्वेश्चन, पहले मैं कह रहा हूँ. और अगर तुमको 5 या 10 मिनट सुनना है तो बात और है, और ये टॉपिक से रिलेटेड नहीं है असल में. Are you comfortable, all of you? If all of you are comfortable, okay. Then now you please understand what is suspended animation. Suspended animation in today's term is actually a misnomer. I'll tell you how this term arose. This term arose in Middle Ages, in 14th or 15th century, when there was no stethoscope and there was nothing to note the heartbeat, there was nothing to note the respiration and whatever. So everything was done on our senses. People used to touch your, ear to the chest, and they would listen to heartbeat and all that. There was no stethoscopes, nothing. Now, there are two stages which are very clear to all of us. One is when we are speaking, talking. Nobody has any problem to say that we are living. And one is when somebody is dead. That means you move about him, you raise his arm and drop it, it will drop like a log of wood. And you hear with a stethoscope his heart sounds are also not audible. You try to hear the respiratory sounds by respiration. The respiratory sounds are not out there. Now there's I was telling with that doll that you throw light. This is one of the best. There are 5 such tests, which are the modern tests of determination of death. They call it the brainstem death, tests for brainstem death. One very simple thing is, you just among yourself also you can do. As a matter of fact, right after this lecture, you take your mobile and switch on its light. Then you ask one of your colleagues to look directly at you, and you hold your fingers and thumb over his upper eyelids and lower eyelids, so that he does not, if he tries to close the eyelids will not close. Then throw that light into his eye. If you are little observant, actually this thing has to be taught, but probably you can see it yourself because you know science. The pupil will contract suddenly, because when too much light is going, the eye wants to protect the retina from damage. So pupil will contract. This is a very, very useful sign of death. After death, this will not happen because the brainstem has died. This reflex is a brainstem reflex. Actually, this is known as pupillary reflex. Now, like that, there are 5 reflexes, and I don't want to tell you, because basically this is for, I think at least one person I know who is a medical doctor among you. He can tell you what these 5 reflexes are, but I'll not waste my time here, and you can read them on anywhere. But our main idea is to concentrate on Harshita's question, that what is a suspended animation. You know, this brainstem criteria have come as late as 1968. And you know, in 1968 also, why this period is there for defining the criteria of death? Because of a very interesting technological development, that is heart transplant. Now, please remember one very, very important thing which you may not have even thought about. We have all heard about heart transplants, but we must not have heard about this problem. Please remember that transplant has to come from a dead person to a living person. It cannot be done from a living person can donate a kidney, no doubt about it, because kidney is a non-vital organ. But because without kidney, one person can live with one kidney. So one can donate to his wife, to his son, to his father, to whomever he wants, even to his friend under some conditions. But one cannot donate his heart, because heart you have only one. Now I'll give you a hypothetical scenario to make this more easy for you. Let us say that there is a woman, a 60-year-old woman, who is anyway going to die of cancer in 1 year. Anyway going to die. Doctors have told him that, madam, you will die after 1 year. So everybody knows that she is going to die after 1 year, but her heart is okay. And her son, 20-year-old son, has a problematic heart. And he may not survive for one year. So this woman and boy both go to a doctor. And the woman says to the doctor, sir, this is my problem. My heart is okay. My son is going to die. I am requesting you, please take my heart and give it to this boy, because I am anyway going to die after 1 year. So at least I will be giving life to my son. Do you think that doctor can take? Yes or no? You can raise your hand, or I just don't know. This is another problem with the online environment. I just can't interact. Now, how do I interact with you? How many people can raise hands? Yes, my dear. Who was running the course? Gaurav? Can you ask them to raise hands and tell me the Vikas Bhargav? Oh, Vikas Bhargav has sent me a message. Sir, with due respect, I humbly request to conclude the events as students need to go to lunch in mess. Oh, it came 26 minutes ago. So I'm sorry, Mr. Vikas. I only saw this phone in order to know your name. So Vikas, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So you have sent this message to me, my dear, at 1:19 and it is 1:46. So students have to go to, so I'm sorry I kept you. See, these problems are with this online environment, and especially for people like me who are not comfortable. So Mr. Gaurav, Vikas, I take, I'm sorry to all the participants that I have made you. My own wife has come twice to see why this fellow is there, but I told her to go away. So I think we will call it a day today, and if you want, we can resume it on some other day. By that time, I will have forwarded my videos also to you. Is this okay?
Sure, sir.
Okay, so thank you all the participants. I am very happy. Again, this online environment, I can't know your reaction, but I hope you liked the session. I certainly liked my own session because I was hearing myself.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sorry.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks to all of
Thank
you.
you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks to all of you.
We learned so much, sir.
It was informative. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You can leave some comments on the chat because
Sir.
chat is the only thing I can know who said what. Tejasvi Surya, because now I have learned how to read the chat. Koel Ghosh, thank you. So informative. Very nice. So I will, Mr. Vikas, you just save all the chats and send this file because I don't know how to save the chat.
Sure, sir. We will share the chat with you.
You save it. I am told that this chat can be saved.
Yes, sir.
With the names of the persons.
Yes, sir. The chat is already saved and the meeting is also being recorded. So we can share you the recorded video also.
That you may not share because I have listened to myself, but I have not listened to these chats. I would keep this chat with me whenever I am in depression, because sometimes my wife says you are a very poor speaker, or you are a very, no, she says you are a very poor listener. You never listen to me, you always speak. So, and I don't like you speaking. So I will tell her, I will show her this chat and tell her that, look here, so many people are liking it. Like, dear sir, we would love to attend more sessions. Raman Kumari. Thank you so much, sir. The session was so, this chat, next time my wife scolds me, I will show this chat to her. So Mr. Vikas, you send me all these chats.
Sure, sir. We will be sharing.
So Harshita, your question is good, but we'll do it next. Probably I'll add some slides in my presentation. And you can believe me, I'm not saying because I don't know the answer. I know the answer, but this is a genuine, because my friend has given an ultimatum to me. Sir, with due respect, I humbly request to conclude the event as students need to go for lunch in mess. In case you don't agree, we will stop calling you in future.
No, sir.
No, he has written it. In case you don't stop, we will stop calling you in future. Now, this is a very strong statement Mr. Vikas has made, and I will not, Mr. Vikas, I'm sure I have offended you, isn't it?
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. You know that you have not written it, and I'm joking. So, Mr. Vikas, let us bring an end to this session. And thank you very much, dear participants. I'm very happy that all of you listened intently. The only good thing that happens when you are actually there is that you can actually see the faces and their expressions and everything. So you can know a better thing, but see at your chats are telling me. So Tejasvi Surya, thank you, sir. Thank you, Tejasvi. So Komal, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. And hopefully we'll meet soon. So people have
Yes, sir.
started leaving. So only 55 participants are there. Initially, we started with 75 or something. Okay, so bye-bye to all of you. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you,
So much,
sir.
sir, for the insightful and informative session. I'm very sure the forensic students, researchers, and the faculties must have enriched the place. So now, without wasting much time, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Pankaj Kaur, Dean University School of Allied Health Sciences, for officially presenting the webinar report and formal vote of thanks of the event. Namaskar. Hello.
Hello, namaskar. Namaskar.
Sir, on behalf of the Department of Forensic University of Applied and Science, Yadvara University, I thank the Forensic Education Institute India and would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who contributed to the success of the national webinar on challenges in forensic medicine, decisions in investigation of heinous crimes, and the way forward. And in this, the way you have explained each and every scene, sir, it was wonderful and it was breathtaking. It was my favorite subject. I wanted to join, but somehow my destiny has kept me only in allied health sciences. I could not join forensic, but really I am enjoying the company of Vikas. And the lecture you have given, it was wonderfully explained, step by step. I would like to thank you, sir, for your address in particular. And I would also like to thank the organizing committee as a whole for their hard work and dedication in making the webinar a success. Finally, I would like to thank Dr. Pramod Singh and Mr. Surender from PGIMER Chandigarh and Mr. Vikas Bhargav from our Allied Health Sciences. He is the assistant professor here, including all the participants for their interest and participation in the webinar. We hope that the webinar provided you, all the participants, with valuable information and insights into the challenges and opportunities facing forensic medicine today. The time we are passing, the people who are doing crime, they are becoming more intelligent day by day. Just like we had COVID was, that virus was becoming more intelligent day by day. The moment we were trying to find out a vaccine for that, it was changing its scenario. So in the same way, the more the crimes are there, they are becoming more difficult to solve. So with your all in-depth information and knowledge, sir, we have enjoyed your company, and the way you have explained was wonderfully accepted by us. Thanks once again, sir. Thank you so much. We will have one more meeting again, sir, very shortly. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.